So there are some UFO theories that link the world's first atomic bomb test, known as the Trinity test, which happened on July 16th, 1945, near Alamogordo, New Mexico, to a crashed unidentified flying object, of course, also known as a UFO. So the Trinity test site was located within the Alamogordo bombing and gunnery range, which is now part of the White Sands Missile Range. However, some of the theories do not seem to fit the facts and even place this event in August 1945, which is roughly 5 weeks after the Trinity test. Now, a 2003 publication and a 2021 book by ufologist Jack Vallée and Paola Harris describe the alleged UFO incident based on the accounts from Jose Padilla and Remy Baca. All right. So, as young boys working at Rancho Padilla, near which is San Antonio, New Mexico, they reportedly saw a bright light and heard a crashing sound. They claim to have discovered a crashed, quote, avocado shaped object, which had a protrusion on one end, and it was accompanied by some sort of insectoid beings. So Padilla and Baca assert that the object was also later retrieved by the United States Army. All right. Padilla described the object as being gray, metallic, about 7.5 to about 9 meters long, and approximately 4 meters high. He suggested that it also likely collided with a nearby radio tower. So these alien creatures were reportedly about 1.5 meters tall, with large eyes and thin, long arms. Their appearance was compared to praying mantises or like Jerusalem crickets with pear shaped heads and small holes for noses and their mouths. Now, despite the description, Padilla said he considered them human, which is weird, and felt their fear and their suffering. Now, Jose Padilla also provided further detail of the alleged UFO incident. So it begins with him as a boy near the Owl Bar, where he would sometimes see J. Robert Oppenheimer, who actually directed the design and construction of the first atomic bomb. So at the bar and in his apparently at the bar and in his office behind the bar. So that's interesting. So Jose was drinking his chocolate milk one day, and this is unknown if this was inside the bar or outside. And he said he heard a boom and saw a bright light like lightning. He said he attributed that to the detonation of an atomic bomb nearby. About a month later, he claims that him and his friend Remy heard another boom in the desert, and I'm not sure their exact location at that point, and they saw smoke rising from an avocado shaped UFO craft. He said that 3 little kids got out of the craft and were running around in circles. He also said they walk like humans, but that they look like a fire ant standing up. It has also been rumored that the UFO craft struck a communication tower, like we've kind of addressed. So Jose and his friend Remy later watched from a ridge behind cactuses while the United States military cleaned up the wreckage. Jose said that when the military would take breaks, that him and Remy would enter the UFO craft and that they took some sort of metal dial out from it and he hid it in his garage. Apparently, Jose and Remy also had horses that they would use to travel back and forth. So, all very interesting. Jacques Vallée said about this incident quote, it didn't blow up into pieces the way an airplane would have. It was apparently very strong. The tower was bent, but the object kept going. It came to the ground and it plowed an avenue all the way down the hill. They made a turn, apparently under power, and stopped against a bump in the terrain. The kids saw that. Now, remember, this was 1945, 2 years before Roswell. There was no concept of flying saucers. Okay. So that's really interesting. There is also evidence gathered from researcher Douglas Johnson that this story from Jose and Remy is actually a hoax. Given all the inconsistencies of this story, and that Remy Baca wanted $250,000 for the story. So that's definitely a big red flag. So now, this account is interesting. Did it really happen? Did it not? I mean, there's witness reports that do exist, um, but these theories also lack official corroboration, and some people attribute it to a hoax and a misinterpretation of U.S. Air Force activities. So who knows if it's true or not? We're going to need more evidence to find out whether or not this is true. But it's a very interesting piece of evidence, and it's a good story, but we need to delve into this to find out if it's really true.